Radiant team ban.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Game Show Global Esport Cup. It's going to be game 2 between 4 Clovers and Leprechaun going up against Golden Boys for CL. Already have a 1-game lead. Tiny Io, Mirana, and well, a little bit of Beastmaster action. Too strong because Golden Boys went a little bit too aggressive. We'll see if they can bring it back just a little bit and get themselves a win, get themselves 1 point off of that win. I'm Mikelorus, going to be joined by GrandisV for the second game, and it looks like Golden Boys have learned to ban out the IO. I think nowadays you kind of have to have ban out the IO.
Yeah, no matter what team EGM is playing on, a good IO player can completely turn the game on its head. And again, Golden Boys going to put their faith in the Ember Spirit. And by no means do I think the Ember Spirit was at fault. It was more just the team's playstyle in the first game. So it's not a bad option by any means, but it's not without its flaws. And it is definitely punishable by 4 Clovers if they want to apply a lot of pressure early. Maybe pick up a Night Stalker here for Bambo.
Yeah, Night Stalker is pretty much one of the best go-to heroes as far as countering that Ember Spirit. Just point-click silence, it lasts forever, and not much the Ember Spirit can do about it, especially early on. Ember Spirit, if he is going to get tower dove, the silence isn't going to last forever, and you would expect the Night Stalker to be like, what, level 3, level 4 maximum? So that's really not a terribly difficult time for the Ember Spirit, but for Clovers to have that option up against an Ember Spirit, I'd be surprised if they go for anything else. Alternatively, they could just go for, pretty standard heroes, Winter Wyvern. We've been seeing a lot less Alchemist nowadays, but if they really want to do that, then sure, go on ahead. Golden Boys with the Ember Spirit pickup it's fine, but it's not something that 4 Clovers really have to address if they don't want to. They could just easily pick up like a Dazzle.
They're going to go for the Ancient Apparition Alchemist. The Ancient Apparition, although directly doesn't have a lot of synergy with the Alchemist, has a lot of synergy or counter synergy against it. And this is going to secure the Alchemist pick, so I don't have to deal with that hard counter to the Chemical Rage's regen. So they are, in fact, going to go for that route. It has fallen a little bit out of favor, but is still incredibly powerful. And it won't be a direct way to stop the Ember Spirit, but indirectly, Alchemist farms so much quicker than the Ember Spirit, and until he gets a lot of items, the Ember isn't able to kill off the Alchemist convincingly, as his damage is a little too slow between Flame Guard and the Searing Chains.
Yeah, it ends up doing a lot of damage, but it's damage over time. That's exactly not what you want up against an Alchemist. You want to be able to burst him down. Undying kind of does that a little bit better. Soul Rip and Decay, great up against the Alchemist, who, to start things off, doesn't really have that much strength, and his strength growth is actually terrible. So I like the Undying pick for Golden Boys. They see the Alchemist, they know that, okay, we can't really sit back and farm all game. Even should we pick up an Ember Spirit, should we pick up another carry hero, Alchemist is just going to be a little bit too strong, a little bit too quick, so we're going to apply the pressure. And we have seen games in the past where a team picks up an Alchemist, whether late or whether it's first pick, yet their Alchemist is constantly being hunted down by like super aggressive heroes. And Undying is, a super aggressive hero of that caliber. They can even mix in like a Spirit Breaker type hero or grab a Night Stalker of their own and make sure that this Alchemist never gets farmed. And an Alchemist that is not on top of the net worth chart by like at least 1,000 gold is probably an Alchemist that's not doing that much.
Yeah, for sure. And I would really like to see that coming out from Golden Boys these next couple of picks. But something else to keep in mind between the Ancient Apparition and Alchemist is AA is one of the heroes that benefits very heavily from having the Aghanim Scepter upgrade that isn't usually going to be able to find enough farm. Although they generally are going to be still pushing out alone, the Ancient Apparition doesn't need to be in the middle of the fight to still contribute to the fight. Could come into play, and something that 4 Clovers will be interested in as this game progresses, and 2 more of those supports that would have really liked to have an Ags handed to them. The Witch Doctor and the Beno will be banned.
And Darks are also going to be banned out. Another hero that very rarely gets Aghanims, just because he usually has other priorities, but should you give him one, it's going to hurt like hell. Would also be another one of those aggressive partnership heroes. Put an Ion Shell in any given hero, such as a Spirit Breaker, and, well, they just go ham. So 4 Clovers trying to slow down the gameplay with their bans, but you can only slow it down by so much. We'll see what other support heroes 4 Clovers want at this stage. Defensive heroes probably at a premium right now. If they can get Aghanims upgrades, that's fine. They're going to pick themselves the Spirit Breaker. This is very similar to the Ancient Apparition pick in that they just have to get this hero out of the hands of Golden Boys in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I think the situation here for The side of Four Clovers was to ban out either the Night Stalker or the Spirit Breaker and then pick the other one, so Golden Boys don't have that available to them. The Spirit Breaker for their side is going to give them a good amount of global presence between the charge, between the Ice Blast. Four Clovers could come out of nowhere and gank you, and if you're the Ember Spirit, that is a little bit scary. Map Vision is going to be very important for Golden Boys, but now Golden Boys will pick themselves up a Lich. A mass premium is being put on Golden Boys lanes. Lich and Undying are the kings of the first 5 to 10 minutes of the game.
Yeah, it's really hard to dislodge them. You can kill them in theory, but Alchemist really doesn't want to go for hero kills unless they fall into his lap. Spirit Breaker and Ancient Apparition, they will want to, but may struggle to actually find an angle to kill off Lich, who usually isn't even seen that much in the lane because he's just sitting back and waiting for the sacrifice to come back up. So Golden Boys, if they lock down the lanes, even if they're not going to be, getting kills in the Alchemist necessarily, they still will be able to pull ahead because the rest of the Four Clovers here is going to be falling behind. More global presence now up on the Four Clovers side as they grab a Nature's Prophet. PyCat played that one the other day, was a really, really intense rat game from him. And if you're just, glancing over it, Aghanim Scepters on Nature's Prophet, Spirit Breaker, and Ancient Apparition, they're all legit. Spirit Breaker's maybe not as legit, but now Golden Boy's going to grab a Slardar. There's not a huge amount of minus armor here, so it's mostly just going to be a Slardar for Slardar's sake. But if you're looking to be aggressive, and if you have a good lane for Slardar, and Slardar Lich dual lane is pretty good, yeah, they could probably get away with this no problem.
And even without any minus armor to synergize with the Slardar's amp damage, amp is going to put Alchemist at negative amounts of armor until he starts building towards an Assault Cuirass, which is, again, an item that usually is delayed until much later. He'd rather get the Radiance, the Mantis-Style, the Octarine, the general just power farming build so that they can tap into the extra ags on their team and just accelerate to an astonishing point in this game where Four Clovers have a super stacked Alch. But Golden Boys, I think, are very well equipped to stop that. It kind of feels like Golden Boys have a team that functions with the playstyle that they were going for in game number 1 much better than Four Clovers, whose aggressive potential, although from the Spirit Breaker is fairly high, is reliant on them getting their levels and them doing well inside these lanes. I think Four Clovers are probably going to start this game off on the back foot and might end up having to rely on that rat Dota. Their ability to fight face-to-face against Golden Boys is going to be severely limited.
I like the Templar Assassin ban out there, a little bit more minus armor off the table for Golden Boys, and it looks like Golden Boys are in fact looking for maybe a mid-hero, maybe a safe laner, but Templar Assassin can do either of those things pretty darn well. We do see occasionally nowadays Alchemists, not going fully away from the power farm build of Acid Spray and Grieval's Greed, but mixing in a little bit of concoction there. And if you do get a concoction with a Spirit Breaker charge, with an Ancient Apparition, Chilling Touch, the aggressive power from Four Clovers early on is going to be enough so that they have a chance to get these kills. So it may seem like Four Clovers, like the Alchemist, isn't going to be doing anything offensively. He can mix in a little bit of offensive power into these fights, and Four Clovers can make a fight happen out of nowhere because of the fact that they do have 3 global heroes in the Spirit Breaker, Ancient Apparition, and Nature's Prophet. Though it's not to say that Golden Boys have a weaker aggressive early game. They definitely have a stronger, more aggressive start. Four Clovers are no slouches themselves, and now with the Juggernaut is going to be banned out. Four Clovers, or at least Golden Boys, thinking that the Spirit Breaker perhaps can be played as 4 position, although I'm pretty sure it's going to be Bambo at this point to handle that. We've seen EGM play a lot of Spirit Breaker in the past as well.
Absolutely. Well, something else to keep in mind is the fact that the lockdown coming out from Golden Boys isn't all that impressive, although they have a mass amount of slow coming out from the Lich and Undying. As a supporting duo, or presumed supporting duo, they are going to rely almost exclusively on the Slardar's Crush in particular to stop the unstable concoctions. That is going to be a very attractive route for Alchemist to go for. As far as his skill build is concerned, at least more so than other games where we're seeing so many varied initiating tools, and as well as with the prevalence of Night Stalker, just that long silence. It'll be interesting to see how Four Clovers round out their lineup. Right now their heroes are individually strong, but the only thing that's really tying them together is that global sub-theme.
And that isn't, that's nice to have, but it's not really, at least I don't think nowadays in Dota, it's not enough to be considered a quote-unquote strategy. I guess they have another global here, not exactly a super offensive one, but it technically affects everyone on a global scale. They're going to grab the Mirana again. This time she is going to have a little bit more setup. It's not super plentiful again. You got Sprout, you got Charge. It's something here for PyCat, But this is, again, seems like it's going to be perhaps a little bit more of an aggressive Alchemist game. He will still get his farm, probably still going to get Radiance, because an early Radiance on any hero is going to be very effective. But it's a hero that can fight early on, as we have seen in the last game. And should the Alchemist get enough farm, they could either decide to go ahead and push for the win or push for towers, or just have the Alchemist power farm into the late game, and then Mirana, have her just kind of sit on the side and be that secondary, more utility-ish carry.
Yeah, an interesting choice coming out from 4 Clovers. I was half expecting Bycat to play the Nature's Prophet. For Golden Boys to round out their lineup, only a couple seconds left to consider this pick. It's going to be a Razor for them. Razor always feels like he can be really good. And I think this game, he has a lot more going for them than Razors usually do, as he tends to be a little bit more lukewarm. At least this game, he has the minus armor synergy with the Slaughter, and a lot of targets that kind of want to be in the middle of the fray, in particular Spirit Breaker and also Alchemist to a lesser extent, might end up just getting all of their damage sucked out from them and being pretty useless. Golden Boys have a very nice aggressive strategy, although ending this game might prove to be a little bit difficult with the Nature's Prophet split push. I think if they get a blink on the Slaughter, if they get Boots Travel on this Ember Spirit, they have tools to where they could very easily combat against 4 Clovers lineup. It's really hard to call who has a draft advantage this game.
Yeah, I mean, the Razor is going to be very difficult to deal with here for the 4 Clovers side. Their burst is not super high, and I guess get a little bit of minus armor, I suppose, with this ultimate. I think I do like Golden Boy's draft only a little bit more, but that's kind of because I don't really have a lot of respect for Alchemist as a hero. That's just me. Nature's Prophet Rat in the late game is sometimes going to be super effective, but as you said, up against an Ember Spirit who 9 times out of 10 is going to be going for travels, and Slaughter 10 times out of 10 is going to be going for a blink. I don't really know how much ratting Sexy Bambo can actually do, but we'll see. I mean, they always do have the global power and power farming of the Alchemist, and that can just win you games out of nowhere. Unfortunately, though, Moonlight Shadow, at least not to my knowledge, doesn't have an Aghanims upgrade, so, Mirana pick, clearly pretty bad.
And also defensively, you have the amp damage to give vision of the target, so running away with that Moonlight Shadow could prove to be a little bit difficult for them, but setting up kills, especially with the Moonlight Shadowed Spirit Breaker, could be very terrifying. Interesting to see how 4 Clovers have distributed these heroes. Pycat's going to be playing the Alchemist, and the Mirana, in fact, is going to be handled by Axmo. To introduce formally the rest of their team, EGM will be playing the Ancient Apparition this game, Spirit Breaker will be handled by Nikwa, and inside the base now, Nature's Prophet by Sexy Bambo.
Yeah, the Ancient Apparition is almost always handled by EGM. Feels like he almost exclusively plays this hero. But on the Golden Boys side, you got Kaiser on the Razor, you got Skanks on the Lich. Maybe next time he's going to be handling the Undying with... what the hell happened to the Slaughter's name? Is this the same person? I have no idea. But Slaughter's here, and Madra is on the Ember Spirit. That was definitely not his name last time.
And it's definitely not his profile picture from last time. I have no clue.
Could you check his name for me? Can we figure this out?
I'm gonna try.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I'm not getting any very useful information.
It's definitely not the same people, though.
I think...
But Skylark is gone, right?
I think it's Skylark? I don't know. He has maybe next time Skylark... So many different names. We'll just call him Skylark, I guess? Or Slardar.
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 Yeah, I think that's probably fair. Because his tagged up name isn't exactly... flattering, let's say, but let's take a look at how these lanes are going to shake down. Pycat is going to see a matchup that he really does not want to see. And obviously you go for Grievel's Greed level 1, so you're not going to be doing Jack as level 1 Alchemist, but still, he has to be close to get these creeps, and Razor, yeah, will be taking occasionally some Acid Spray damage. The minus armor probably not going to be too relevant there, but this is the problem. Pycat is going to get linked up, and though he does have the Quelling Blade, good luck last hitting with 8 damage, now 0 damage.
Life is hard for the Alchemist. Pycat really needs boots as soon as possible, and he should be able to get those boots relatively quickly, but without them, it's so hard to outrun the Razor. Lucky enough for him, the Razor hasn't gone for that extra movement speed, which sometimes you do see on Razors when they go in the mid lane, just to guarantee that they're able to get the longest link possible. As far as these side lanes are concerned, it's going to be Nature's Prophet going up against the Slaughter Undying, and top lane, Mirana. They got him. Nice.
He was trying to go for Axmo, but then Ancient Apparition reminded him that Ancient Apparition's Chilling Touch is broken at level 1. He just got way too far in, and the shield level 1 actually doesn't do anything, like 50
especially
magic
against
absorption.
Chilling Touch. It only absorbs 50 magic damage.
Yeah.
That's 1 Chilling Touch right click.
and I mean, it's 50 damage, whatever. Like, at any stage in the game, that's actually not a ton. So level 1 shield is definitely not where you want to be. That's why you always, or almost always, max that as Hemisphere, because keeping it level 1 for value, there's no such thing. This is going to be, for Clovers now, going to be pretty aggressive with this top lane as long as Chilling Touch is here. Whether or not Nikwa is here is almost completely irrelevant. They're actually going to have a pretty good angle here on the Lich, who's going to just try to D-ward, yet suddenly cows out of nowhere. Chilling Touch is up. They're going to try to body block with Nikwa, however, it's not really going to be super successful. Another Vortex on the deck, and now Lich, well, he's going to drop. See Nikwa just one more hit, although the arrow coming in, oh, he's going to narrowly get away, but he won't get away from the mace, as Spirit Breaker is eventually going to grab that kill. It took them perhaps a little bit longer than they would like, but hey, a kill's a kill. And they place another sentry to continuously block this camp, and they may just, get rid of the sentry dropped by the Golden Boy side. Maybe. EGM's looking, he's not finding it just yet.
It's pretty sad to watch a Spirit Breaker with Chilling Touch try to right-click things. It takes him almost 2 seconds to swing his mace. But in the end, they're able to secure it. The Orb of Venom still helping out huge there. 2-0, quick start.
Bottom lane, crush onto Bambo. Ready, the sprint is up, and he's going to fall. Nature's Prophet can't really do too much about that, except for not be there in the first place. But we have a level 2 Nature's Prophet going up against a level 4 Slardar. Just don't like the odds there for the NP. And it was the Undying also to help out in the lane for a little bit, giving that Slardar that initial advantage. Now Nature's Prophet, he definitely has to fear the fact that he can just get run down and instantly killed off, but the problem is now in the top lane where Undying is now going up against 3 heroes. 3 heroes who, I mean, 2 of which are already super glass cannon, the Mirana and the Ancient Apparition. 416 max HP, 359 max HP. This is going to be an absolute field day for Undying. They haven't had a good start to this top lane. Now I don't see 4 Clovers doing anything in this top.
Yeah, fair enough. I really like this movement coming out from Golden Boys, but in mid lane, Nikwa looking potentially for an angle on a Courier Sniper, maybe just a rotation on the Razor. He's already very low, and the Alchemist might be able to kill him off, although he has gone for the full greedy build, the max acid spray, 2 points into greed.
You can't really help out that much. Minus armor is nice, but you really do need like power treads or something at least on the Spirit Breaker if you're going to make use of minus armor, at least to a substantial degree. Pycat's still getting quite a bit of CS right now. He's obviously not going to be stopping the Razor anytime soon. Stack situation in the jungle for this Alchemist is almost completely non-existent. So what you see is what you get, but still, as long as he is able to farm up without too many other heroes coming into his lane, doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. Pycat's going to be fine. He's going to lose all of his damage, so he's actually not hitting for anything. But here comes the heroes that do hit for stuff. Vikwa and Sexy Bambo, they get right on top of the Razor and beat him down. Pycat is going to now grab level 6 off of that one. Still no damage, no problem for this Alchemist. Acid Spray is going to help at least somewhat in these ganks. And Razor to drop is going to free up this mid lane a hell of a lot for Pycat.
This is a glimpse of that global presence that comes out from 4 Clovers lineup with the heroes that they've selected. And it gets better as the game goes on. Right now, that's just the charge and the TP. You get the Ice Blast going, and then if you land an arrow, following up with on that arrow is very easy for 4 Clovers. You can get the charge, you can get the Nature's Prophet on top of them, and Golden Boys need to be afraid if they're ever out alone. Right now, Vision is going to be held at a premium, but Dire's Vision isn't all that great.
Chilling Touch, they're going to try to race for this Lich. The charge is coming in. Axel's going to leap in, which means he doesn't have a leap out, yet he's going to get the kill before he dies. Now bottling up, and the shield is going to fall from Madra. Here comes Nature's Prophet. He's going to run out of damage. This Ember Spirit does have another set of chains. Axma, though, got a lot of bottle charges out. Starstorm is going to drop Madra low, but he will fall in the end. EGM is going to get crushed to death. The charge actually jumps to a random creep, and now Nikwa, well, he's going to sloop around and will dodge the Undying. But he may not dodge the sprinting Slardar, who wants in. Amplified damage can give him full vision of the Spirit Breaker. He has a charge in 2 seconds. Nature's Prophet didn't come in. Nikwa is going to turn around, try to man fight a little bit, but he's not taking enough damage here. He'll charge out eventually. He's just going to go towards the bottom lane. Nikwa should be just fine. Yeah, there we go, just fine. But yeah, it is the Mirana to dive pretty deep to go for just a Lich kill. Now again is in a little bit of trouble. Chain's going to connect even through the pounce. EGM's going to arrive with the Chilling Touch. This time, this Ember Spirit, though, has his ultimate. He's going to dive for Axmo, still the shield. It's not going to actually do enough damage. He's going to run out the arrow nowhere really close. And now here comes the Slaughter. Bambo is going to also teleport in Madra. He can instantly teleport out. The Slaughter does have another sprint right now, has another crush, but he's vastly outnumbered. Bambo does not have another sprout. Nikwa does not have another charge. 2 mana away from it. A super deep dive, unpunished from the Golden Boys side, and it looks like it'll just force a couple of rotations from 4 Clovers. Ultimately, no one's going to fall.
Across the board, Golden Boys are getting a little bit more farm on all of their lanes, and it feels like these kills, although 4 Clovers have one more, are meaning a tad bit more for the Golden Boys side. However, the good news for Four Clovers is the hero that's benefiting from all of this fighting is the Alchemist, who really hasn't been pressured all that much. Having a Razor in his lane is a nuisance, of course, for Pycat, but his farm hasn't been slowed down, and far from it. He's actually the top of the last hits and top of the net worth, as you'd expect an Alchemist to be.
The opening to pressure an Alchemist is a lot slimmer than an opening to pressure like an Anti-Mage or something like that, who, you know, they're going to go for Power Treads and then a Battle Fury, and then they want their next item, but Alchemist farms so quickly, especially after having gotten, I think, at least 2 bounty runes. He's just going to grab his relic in just a matter of seconds. Like, he's, for the most part, already there, and it almost seems like it's too late for Golden Boys to pressure this out, because once you get the Radiance, then things start getting out of control for Pycat. And yeah, I would trust Pycat to carry my team as an Alchemist. He is definitely a capable farmer in that regard. No pressure towards this Alchemist, and Four Clovers, even if they're, you know, even taking slightly worse trades, which they aren't across the map, they're kind of fine with it since this Alchemist is having a complete free time. Slaughter, though, is close to his Blink Dagger, so soon Golden Boys are going to start to be able to mount up some serious aggression, but it's not quite there yet.
That's one of their best tools to punish this Alch. Just Blink, Crush, and Alchemist only has 2 armor. He's not going to be increasing that armor value by much until later on in the game. Top Rune going to be snagged by the Razors. He's just slightly faster than the Spirit Breaker. Nikwa, for now, is only level 3. The Spirit Breaker needs some sort of way to come back to this game, but I guess all the supports inside this map, or on this map, are very underleveled. Maybe Lich the exception, but he's a Lich.
Yeah, Lich will be able to slightly recover Undying. Just with K's is going to have some serious value, and at this point, the Spirit Breaker being underleveled, he does have Boots and Urn, which is actually pretty good for a level 3 hero, is pretty much just a setup stun with Charge of Darkness. It's okay, but you would really like a little bit more. At least Ancient Apparition has level 2 Chilling Touch, and that has, you know, even as the game progresses, quite substantial damage implications. We have a sprint down towards the bottom lane. Slardar and Razor are going to look to ambush the mid lane instead. This is a pressure move towards the Alchemist. However, they're not going to find the Alch. They're going to find instead the Ancient Apparition. They probably can't walk through him. They're going to charge right in. Ultimate, Eye of the Storm. Ancient Apparition is going to fall to the Plasma Field. Easy kill there. But for Four Clovers to lose the Ancient Apparition, who's such a low level, almost is insignificant to them since the Alchemist wasn't the one to die there. And that means that he's going to be able to clear out the stack. I think that gives him his relic.
Yeah, and if not, it's going to be very close. I think it does. In the meantime, Undying dies to Nature's Prophet in the bottom lane. I can only imagine that was an arrow setup, but the follow-up is here.
Moonlight Shadow detection, non-existent. They're going to actually look to fight this. Nikwa probably shouldn't. He's only level 4. Slaughter is coming in, will have the amplified damage, though is spotted on his rotation in, and, well, they should just use this to leave. I don't think fighting here actually has much benefit to the Four Clovers side, and, hey, they are just going to disengage. Undying to fall is another, like, similarly expendable hero, as we just saw Ancient Apparition die. We saw the mirrored trade on the Undying's end, but for Golden Boys, their Ember Spirit is, I mean, kind of getting brick walled. Whereas for Pycat, he's going to run into quite a few heroes this time. He's so close to his relic. This is not the time to die as an Alchemist. He needs the Bounty Rune, like, right now, but it's too late. He's already dead. The Bounty Rune also does spawn. Oh, man, he was so close to the relic. Golden Boys cut it really close, but I guess mission success.
There's a bit of a greedy move coming up from the Alchemist. He really wanted that Bounty Rune, but he still had those 2 big creeps inside the woods. If he just farms those up, would have been able to get that gold more reliably, but you know what? I can't blame him for going for that rotation. The Bounty Rune is more valuable, and it would put you very close.
Charge, arrow, Axmo. Oof. Thinking about it, thought about it several times, yet decided it would miss. Slowing down the Alchemist is fine. I mean, obviously that's what Golden Boys wanted to do.
Here's a Blink Slardar.
Oh yeah, they're going to actually have another chance to kill him off here. Of course, EGM is a lot more tasty, but Pycat's the one they see. Blink Crush, it's there. After the amplified damage, there's a lot of damage on this Alchemist, and he's going to lose damage as well. Drops the acid, but will fall. He just bought his recipe for the Radiance. He's nowhere close to the relic anymore. Nikwa's still charging in. He's going to go straight towards the Slaughter. Aximo's in the middle of the fight as well. Lands an arrow onto Madra right now with the Sprout there. Ember Spirit will fall. Gets his Remnant out. Can't buy back, however. They're going to chase now for Kaiser, who's going to try to go through the trees. Treant's looking to cut him off. Will not be fast enough. Razor still booking it, but with a charge, can't completely get away. Jump forward from Aximo as well. They get a lucky bash just in case. And Razor's going to fall. Looks like the Lich found himself a hole to teleport out of. It's a 2 for 2, and yeah, it's great for Four Clovers to kill off the Ember Spirit and the Razor. They kill off more important heroes, but that killing the Alchemist set him back by so damn much.
Yeah, he didn't have very much reliable gold at all, and he is losing a lot after those 2 consecutive deaths. This could have been like a 9-minute relic near enough if Pycat doesn't die the first time. But now for dying twice is 1,800 gold till he has it finished.
And Slardar. They're going to jump right in. The Remnant was still there. And Nature's Prophet kind of disrespecting that. Slardar Blink Dagger, man, doing some serious work. 4-0-2 on this hero. And if he can keep getting those type of initiations where he has the luxury of amplifying then Blink Crushing, man, this Slardar is going to just be running this game, and he's going to find another opportunity. Grabs a double damage rune. Oh, not going to do it. He doesn't have enough mana for a crush.
Yeah, even if he did, he would have been outnumbered inside that exchange, so Slardar just cheekily going to take away that rune from the enemy's side. But now with that double damage, is raring and ready to go if he finds any sort of opportunity. The Alchemist is farming up top. They're not going to find him, but they are going to catch eyes behind the tower. I think this tier 1 just falls. There's no way for them to contest, and that's going to be Golden Boy securing more map control. The Nature's Prophet right now, 60 Bambo, has been pretty quiet this game. Looks like he's going to be going for a straight Aghanim Scepter rush, but right now is farming inside the enemy woods because that's the only place where he can really feel safe at all. With the amount of catch that Golden Boys have with an incredibly mobile Ember Spirit and with this blinking Slardar that are right now just running the game.
4 Clovers do have, like, in theory, responses to initiation, but the fact of the matter is that Golden Boy's damage following that initiation, just with the initiation itself, does so much damage that there's not really much time for Moonlight Shadow to kick into gear or for Nature's Prophet to teleport in. Those tools, though they come out very quickly, just are way too slow right now. Golden Boys are able to get in and get out with 1 kill richer. Speaking of, Blink Forward, Crush is going to miss on EGM. Will that actually save his life? Because he's still taking a hell of a lot of damage from the Slardar. It looks like it will end up saving him. Should he have gotten crushed there, I'm pretty sure he would have died. Neeko also charging in should probably end up canceling it. But Golden Boys, with this Blink Dagger momentum that they have, they're going to grab not 1 but 2 tier 1 towers. No response again on this bottom lane. At least for 4 Clovers, Pycat is, again, kind of close now to his completed Radiance. And they will try to make a trade in the mid lane, but this is super risky. 2 TBs coming in. Tower will fall. Can they all escape? Slardar's going to blink in. Catch EGM. 2 shots will get the kill. Moonlight Shadow is going to probably get everyone else out. I think that's a fine enough trade for 4 Clovers. Obviously, it's not good for them, but at this point, they have to accept it, and they should be okay with it.
The biggest issue for 4 Clovers right now is the fact that their supports are severely under-leveled. The Ancient Apparition is level 4, 14 minutes into this game, and although he is expendable, you really want that Ice Blast to help you set up kills. But the silver lining is that you do have a 14-minute Radiance during Alchemist, and he finds a Bounty Rune right after that. He is still very far ahead, even after those 2 deaths, which do set him back a lot. He's not out of this game by any means. However, Golden Boy's now rotating the Roshan Pit with the amp damage. This is something it can do, but not without getting scouted. These trees of Nature's Prophet are going to catch eyes on it, and with it, might make Golden Boys think twice about committing. Looks like they will.
And that's a real shame that EGM doesn't have Ice Blast at this stage. Golden Boys clearly want to go for that objective, and Ancient Apparition's ultimate is one of the best tools at dissuading enemies from going for that. Alternatively, even if Golden Boys were to fully commit to that Roche Pit, Sexy Bambo is already now up on the top lane with the help of Pycat's Acid Spray, and Radiance can clear up creeps in the blink of an eye. We'll probably make it a tier 1 for Roshan trade, and I think both sides should be kind of happy with that. This Ancient Apparition, though, needs to find a lane and just farm it, or at least sit in experience range. That's all he needs. He doesn't actually need the gold at this point. He just needs the levels for level 6. The top lane is falling, and for Golden Boys, they will finally commit to this Roshan. They will bring it down fairly quickly. But yeah, it looks like it is just going to be that trade in the end.
Alchemist farming so very efficiently inside the enemy woods, gets a lucky creep spawn with Dark Trolls with Satyrs and Mud Golems, and just like that has 2,000 gold pulled out of thin air. Golden Boys are going to find it very difficult to stop him from farming. Getting this Roshan will still allow them to apply pressure to those towers. Is it enough, however? This Alchemist is 3,000 gold ahead of the Slardar, and although the Slardar is contributing a lot more than the Alchemist, now give him 10 to 20 minutes. This Alchemist is going to be super stacked.
Oh, he's going to barely kill the golems that was stuck on the high ground. I think Neeko probably charged it up before. But yeah, now he has the travels, now he has the Radiance. Going to probably go for that Naga Siren style of Alchemist where he's just bouncing around everywhere, eventually with Manta style, and looking to get that farm. And at this point, it's almost too late. It is too late for Golden Boys to like really slow down this Alchemist. They can still very easily kill him off, but as far as stopping his farm, that almost seems like it's off the table. They have to stop everyone else's farm. Neeko is going to go towards Madara, gets chained out of his charge. It looks like it's just going to be everyone backing off for right now. Axmo is going to see the Slardar. Luckily for Axmo, he's still invis. Yeah, 4 Clovers at this point are almost completely on the let Alchemist farm and split push to buy him time type plan. This is going to free Golden Boys up to go for direct objectives, like for Roshan, like for straight pushing the tier 1 tower. And like worst case scenario for them, it's a trade on towers. That's not really that bad for them.
Yeah, and we're pushing high ground is going to be very difficult for Golden Boys, although that's not going to be until much later down the line anyway. Something they need to start considering being able to do. Their heroes are going to find it difficult to push out against, as Aghanim Scepter Nature's Prophet is going to constantly spam trees across all of these lanes, even though they are mobile enough and have a decent amount of wave clear to manage that, especially with the Boots of Travel and the Ember Spirit. I'm not sure if that's enough. Speaking of Ember, he's down towards bottom.
He's going to catch Bambo. He doesn't want to teleport because he knows he's going to get chained, but in the meantime, he's just burning. I don't know where he's going. He's trying to sprout himself, TP out. They don't have vision. Sleight of Fist chains misses, and he will get away. Oh, Madra, not the right time to miss that combo. Otherwise, for sure, Bambo's going to die. Now he's going to actually teleport up towards top lane, looking to be aggressive. They have the charge on Slaughter. They see the Lich as well. Lich is just going to teleport away, so I guess Bambo, you know, getting a little bit of karma there. And Slaughter will also sprint out. But, man, actually, no one dying there. I thought for sure someone would die.
That's still good play by the Ember Spirit, though, holding that combination. If he goes for the chains earlier, not able to get that kill, I don't think you can really blame him. It's, although a fairly standard combo, it's not going to hit every single time. And it doesn't cost them that much. Nature's Prophet kill is nice, but really the biggest issue for them is Pycat. He's farming up still inside the enemy woods and hasn't been stopped for the longest of time. Those 2 deaths were it, although he does cancel a TP. Now that could be a little bit problematic. He's stuck on this side of the map for about 40 seconds.
Well, as long as he has backup there, he should be fine. EGM in the meantime finding some much needed space to get to his level 6. It's 18 minutes in. He thinks he's safe, but suddenly Slaughter Razor. Ooh, they come in fast, but they don't quite come in fast enough. Ancient Apparition's so close to that ultimate level. It's pushing 20 minutes in and he still doesn't have that. EGM is super underfarmed and underleveled at this stage. Like, compare that to the level of the Lich, of the Undying. They at least have their ultimates. And actually, maybe next time is very close to an Aghanim Scepter. That's going to be very hard for Clovers to deal with. Again, they don't really have immense strength growth. They're going to be just crumbling after a single decay. Their tower will drop up towards top lane. Nikwa doing his best to put in some damage onto the top tier too, but there's no trade here. Real Kaiser with the double damage room can very easily claim that. It looks like it's a little bit of space provided to Pycat, I suppose, but Golden Boys are still rotating around, getting objectives almost completely for free.
Yeah. It's by no means over for 4 Clovers, but it's almost exclusively on Pycat's back, and I'm not sure, even if he does get all of these items, if he's going to be strong enough to fight against Golden Boys. With the minus armor, with the strength gain, they're going to be very easily able to exploit the weaknesses of Alchemist's subpar and actually abysmal stats gain. His armor isn't going to be patched up for a long time, his strength is going to be ripped away from him by this Undying. His Aghanim Scepter is 1,200 gold away. The thing that 4 Clovers need to make sure happens is that Golden Boys are not in a position where they can push high ground, and for quite a while. They have this minus running on the Mirana as well, and a lot of ways to where they can transition to farm, but Moonlight Shadow is going to be popped. Is this an opening for them?
This sentry, though, Nikwa is going to be spotted on the incoming charge in, but he's going to land the charge anyway. Onto the Undying, the Ice Blast is going to come in, completely botch it, but it doesn't matter. They already get those 2 kills, Lich and Undying, so they do have the levels. They're still super soft. And
Oh, Pycat farming zombies.
Oh, that's not what
gold.
you want. How much gold? He started at 0, I think? Oh, look at, there's so many zombies.
That is so dumb.
Oh, please. Yes, 700 gold, 800 gold. Don't destroy it, Nikwa. Let it live. Oh, my God. He's getting through. Okay, well, he kills it in the end. 1,000 gold in, like, 20 seconds. What the hell?
Okay, the 2 support kills, that's nice. The bigger deal is that tombstone. Like, from killing those 2 supports, the team, it gets about 800 gold, right? The experience on top of it does swing things a little bit further into their favor, but Alchemist just made bank.
Oh, hold up top. They're going to jump forward for Axmo. Ice Blast finally connects onto the Slaughter, but it will not save EGM. Oh, he's going to stick up. Arrow's going to come in. It will actually save EGM. Maybe. Another Blink Crush. Not available because of the Frostbite. Now Nikwa's going to charge right in. He sees the Slaughter right now. They throw the concoction towards the Razor. There is no Nether Strike at this point, so it looks like that should just about be it. But, oh man, Ancient Apparition narrowly edging out an escape.
And considering his start EGM, he has the Ogre Club. That's a lot more than he would have.
Madra charge. He doesn't have a jump away just yet. He's going to get stunned. The Crush is going to land only into Axmo, however. Here comes the Tombstone. I don't really know if this is the right move maybe next time. Last time it didn't work out well for them. They do kill off the Spirit Breaker. Looks like zombies may spawn, but this time Golden Boys can actually protect the Tombstone and not give over, you know. Well, they only give over like 50 gold to the Alchemist. Could be worse. Could be worse.
Yeah. The Battle Fury is in the works for the Ember Spirit, and Golden Boys now have an armlet on their slaughter. They're still getting items, but not nearly as quickly as this Alchemist, who has, in less than 22 minutes, Radiance Man-style boots of travel, 2,500 gold on top of that, and also he's going to get a huge amount from this stack. My goodness, for only being involved in 3 kills, this Alchemist is unpressured. He's almost doubling up the Razor. If you combine the Razor and Ember Spirit's inventories, it almost looks like Alks.
Now the problem is for Alchemist is that he is going to go up against an Undying with almost Aghanims and Amplified damage. So these items that he's picked up so far, though very, very nice, are almost exclusively for farming. Like, his illusions don't actually do that much except for spread Radiance. And of course Radiance is, it's good, but if you're not going to last long in those fights, then it's almost irrelevant that you have that item. He needs to get some sort of fight-ready item, and I think the item probably has to be a plate mail item, probably has to be Assault Cuirass, or a Heart. Both of those will be really good. What is it going to be? It is going to be a Soul Booster, so it's just going to be Octarine for the power farming build, but hey, as long as it gives you health, right? As long as it gives you some form of survivability, the Alchemist will be able to at least stick in the fight for a little bit more Radiance at minimum.
Yeah. I think Octarine is just a better version of Heart for Alchemist. The increased uptime on his ultimate in general, it's a good item to have, as you said, for power farming, but it's not going to stop them from taking down these tier 2s. He's going to need that Assault Cuirass on top of it, but he's getting to that point where he's just going to be an unstoppable machine. The last remaining outer tier tower, or one of the last remaining outer tier towers, there's still a tier 2 tower top, is going to be falling in favor of Golden Boys very shortly.
There's nothing really that 4 Clovers can do about it, except for split push. Unfortunately, split pushing top doesn't actually do anything. There's no more objectives to claim here. The Nature's Prophets treants are all over the place. I gotta assume that was, you know, some created by the Wrath of Nature, but man, how the hell did he get treants all the way over there? They're just gonna be fanning out, and it won't really pressure any structures. But for Golden Boys, they're getting closer and closer to that high ground. Roshan is a very long timer. That's not what they want to see. They want it to be respawning instantly every single time. Madra up towards top lane might just get jumped. He's not going to expect Spirit Breaker from behind. He's going to land the chains, barely get it out, and Concoction's going to follow him. He will get stunned up one more time. Nether Strike is there. Do they have enough damage here? Nature's Prophet also going to come in. He has an ultimate, not going to land onto Madra. Ice Blast, not fired just yet from EGM. Although Blink for it on the slaughter. Catch Sexy Bambo in a corner. Amplified damage is going to nullify the effects. Can he get bashed up? Oh, the charge through. Bambo's going to live. Nikwa, what a charge in. Is going to give his life probably, yes, especially when the dust comes out. Ooh, he died before the Chain Frost come out. Luckily for the Lich, he saves that one for later. But he ends up saving that Nature's Prophet, which means more rat in the future. Axmo running into now the Slaughter. Arrow is going to be absorbed by the Hellbears. And now this Mirana's in a hell lot of trouble. This Slaughter is hitting very hard with the armlet. Just one more hit. Well, Stick Charge is not going to do it. Mirana going to get picked off by the Slaughter. Where is the Ice Blast from Ancient Apparition? It was already used, I think, and it didn't do enough.
We saw the power of the Armlet there, but it is a very interesting pickup for the Slaughter against an Ancient Apparition. Armlet very naturally is countered by Ice Blast. You don't benefit from the extra health that you get when you Armlet toggle, and if it's on and you get hit by Ice Blast, especially if the Ice Blast is agsed up, it feels so bad, and there's no good way about it. If you turn it off, you die. If you leave it on, you die. And in the end, it might punish the Slaughter a little bit, but for the most part, Ancient Apparition hasn't been that big of a factor this game, so I think it's fine. Oh, EGM, he gets jumped by that Slaughter, and the Armlet's going to kill him off. But it is on. Not enough damage, though, I don't think. Although
I think he might be dead.
He lives.
Really close. That's
Not
fine.
even that close. Yeah, he's fine.
No Nature's Prophet ultimate. He's going to now throw it out, but he doesn't actually see the Slardar. I think if he threw it out a little bit earlier, he would have gotten it. And the Lich is also going to take a hell of a hit from it, but yeah, unfortunately, it's a little bit too late.
Yeah, that's sad for them. Everybody's going to be able to waddle back towards base. Golden Boys have found a couple of pickoffs, but the situation is here for Golden Boys that they just need to wait out until this Roshan is back up and running. But 4 Clovers also have pretty constant vision inside this pit. They've been dropping treants inside here every once in a while. It looks like they're the ones to first know when Roshan's back up.
And for 4 Clovers, they don't have, well, anywhere close to a level 2 Ancient Apparition Blast, nor do they have it Aghanimed anytime soon, as he somehow is still only level 6, 26 minutes in, but just throwing in that skill for a scouting tool at bare minimum, I mean, that has value in and of itself. 4 Clovers also able to get in there with the Moonlight Shadow, but for right now, Slaughter is hunting. He's going to get a smoke blown by Axmo. He's going to try to go for Pycat instead. Chain's going to land, and well, there is Chemical Rage. Pycat is going to Manta Style the Chains off. He's getting a little bit body blocked by his own illusions, but the illusions will see everyone and cancel a couple of Blink Daggers maybe from the Slaughter. Arrow going to come in, slow down the Slaughter further. That's here that they really have to stop if they're going to escape right now. Pycat He is going to teleport out up towards the top lane. Axmo, he's going to travel out as well. Everyone's going to live, and for Golden Boys to make that many rotations up to the top lane and not get anything, it's just a hell of a lot of time wasted. That's time where 4 Clovers are now going to start pushing the other lanes.
Alchemist is at the point where he's almost impossible to kill inside these fights. Amp damage gets manted off fairly easily by Pycat, and although the Undying has this Aghanim Scepter up and running, this Alchemist is very tanky. He's so fat when it comes to the items that he's picking up. But how do they transition this Alchemist into something that's actually a threat? Right now he's just a beefy frontliner that demands a lot to kill him, but he doesn't really offer that much threat level.
Assault Cuirass, probably a Basher eventually. I'm always very interested to see when Alchemists decide to get Aghanim Scepters. Giving it to the Ancient Apparition for that long Frostbite effect will be nice. Obviously, you would want to give one to the Nature's Prophet, but it's too late for that. And giving it to the Spirit Breaker is whatever. So, is it really just like Assault into Abyssal? I think that's probably the item progression that he wants to go for, if at all possible. I don't think you go for Ag's Ancient Apparition because he's only level 6.
It's such a hard call to make. Ancient Apparition would want to be building his own Aghanim Scepter, but EGM for the most part is out of this game, and he might be very literally out of this game in second.
Oh, run into an Ember Spirit. 2 shots, really? That just feels bad. He's level 6 versus level 16. Like, that really is just never supposed to happen. I suppose as Ancient Apparition, you should build into like a Sange Halberd if you're planning on receiving an Aghanim Scepter. It's still pretty good. Over towards the bottom lane now, they're going to look for an even trade. Nether Strike is there, plus the Concoction. They get a Lucky Bash, and they will kill off the Undying very easily. So, I guess that trade is fine for 4 Clovers. I mean, the Ancient Apparition is fully expendable, whereas Undying actually has levels. Now the Illusion of the Alchemist is going to see the Roshan attempt, start working down that Razor Arrow, going to come right and connect onto Madra. Moonlight Shadow in, and they see Kaiser, they have the Ice Blast incoming, which will land onto the Ember Spirit. Random artillery damage for right now, and the charge is coming in. Axmo has another arrow in 4 seconds, they will cancel the charge. And for 4 Clovers, again, they don't really want to be fighting if they can help it. They would rather be split pushing and avoiding the fights, ratting as much as possible.
It's going to be very soon, however, that the Alchemist is capped out. He's going to be 6-slotted, 7-slotted, probably like 40 minutes in with Moonshard, maybe even an Aghanim spot if he keeps up this farming pace. So 4 Clovers do need to find some way to end this game, and a lot of their issues come down to the fact that 4 Clovers just don't have great ways to start the fights outside of Spirit Breaker charging. The arrows, although they haven't been bad by Axmo, also haven't been anything to write home about.
4 Clovers do still have this Hanamitis on Axmo, and 2,500 gold Mirana is gonna, well, if he comes back, then he will have some sort of significant damage item. Nature's Prophet also actually grabbing a point booster, which is kind of interesting to see. I mean, obviously he already has Aghanims, so you don't want to go for that. Is going to be an Octarine Core for himself. Now that does make Wrath of Nature a skill that is very easy to abuse. You always have an army of treants somewhere. But he's spending a lot of gold for this, and in a heads-up fight for 4 Clovers, I'm not really sure if they can actually take that. Like, almost, like, 100% Golden Boys in a heads-up fight, 5-5 are going to win that. And for 4 Clovers, they just have to try to delay. At a certain point, I feel that's just not going to work. Someone's going to get picked off. And then afterwards, the tower push is going to happen, especially now that Razor has his own Ags.
It's a very delicate situation to be in if you're 4 Clovers. You have a lot of items that have delayed to the point where Alchemist is able to get all of the farm he could ever want. He's going to have the Assault Cuirass in just about 200 gold, and then after that he has 1 slot, and maybe considers replacing something else down the line, or buys Ags, buys Moonshard, you know, the standard Alchemist fare at that point. But I don't see a major win condition for 4 Clovers unless they find a pick-off on Golden Boys. And that's really hard. It can't just be any pick-off either. Like, the Lich, the Undying probably doesn't cut it. You need to kill off this Ember Spirit. That's going to be even harder down the line, as he's going to build into something with an Ultimate Orb, either Manticell or Scotty. Going to make it a lot harder for the Ember Spirit to be dealt with. He just uses the items so much more effectively than the Alchemist, even though Alchemist has 10,000 more net worth. It doesn't feel like it.
Lincoln Sphere, also not a terrible item for Madra in this game, if he wants to go for that. He has so many options right now, and he's kind of under farm compared to the Alchemist, but in this situation it's a good thing, because Alchemist, even with all this farm, is not having the same contribution as Madra's Ember Spirit, who, well, is able to kill off, say, the Ancient Apparition, who's still only level 7, without breaking too much of a sweat. Same thing for Slaughter. Like, these two heroes, I mean, Slaughter's a little bit more behind, but 704, this Slaughter is having such a huge contribution to this game relative to the amount of gold he has. And that's not to say that Mirana or Nature Prophet are doing poorly given their farm rate, but the gold chart, like, this is very, very deceptive. Like, 7,500, usually it's pretty good, but you see experience. This is a little bit, I think, closer to the representation of this game.
Yeah, I think that's fair. It really does feel like a slight advantage towards Golden Boys, but not super huge. I don't know. All it takes is one mistake from either side to blow this game wide open. If they are able to land a long duration arrow on this Ember Spirit and have Alchemist smack away at him during that time, throws his concoction, able to get that kill, then Golden Boys are the ones on the back foot, and 4 Clovers could very easily transition to base damage with the Assault Cuirass minus armor on tower. That extra ore is really great for the team, but similarly, Golden Boys, if they find a good Slaughter initiation, then you have the Assault Cuirass presumably coming out from him down the line, but also this Aghanim Scepter on the Razor, which is a much better sieging tool than what 4 Clovers have yet.
Yeah, eventually, Alchemist, once he does get a damage item, really regardless of what it is, will be able to just bulldoze towers, but until that happens, Razor with Ags, with probably enough time in this game if he really wants to go for a Refresher Orb. I don't really remember the last time I've seen that, but can, I guess, eventually. Like, it doesn't seem like this game is going to be ending anytime soon for either side, so, I mean, Golden Boys have a lot of room to grow. Even Undying, like, the fact that he has Aghanim Scepter 30 minutes in is, you know, not like super impressive, but now we can actually start going towards either like just random plate mail items. Again, Lincoln Sphere is good. Lotus Orb is actually pretty decent as well. The Undying can actually do quite a bit just by surviving in these fights, so you want to have items that kind of complement that.
Yeah, or like a Vlad's, just anything more utility based for the Undying that'll add to his survivability.
Halberd.
Yeah, Halberd's good, you know, anything really.
Disarming the Alchemist, man, that is painful for Pycat at this point. I guess you can Manta split it off, but for the most part, like, you want to split off the chains. I guess he will split off whatever he can whenever he has the opportunity to, but there are so many things that he is going to want to use the Manta style for, like amplify damage, like chains, the slow from the Lich you can get rid of. Yeah, the Manta style is going to be a little bit stressed. He can't split off everything. There is a cooldown to this item, even with the Octarine. Still 22 seconds.
Disarm can't actually be dispelled. It's actually very good against the Alchemist, but yeah, who knows? The Alchemist might have to be forced into a BKB or an MKB, and he just doesn't have enough slots to support anything that's going to force his item progression towards anything else other than this Assault Cuirass Abyssal Blade.
You probably get rid of the Radiance eventually, right? Like,
or at least keep it on a courier, swap it, pop the Manta, and then switch it for the Abyssal. But yeah,
I guess the Mischance is actually pretty legit. I don't know if it's worth keeping around, though. Like, is that better than an MKB or any other damage item? Probably not.
Yeah. I don't know. It's so hard to call in those super late game scenarios. The bottom line is he only has 6 slots, and the effectiveness that you're getting from buying items that he's going to have on couriers or otherwise is significantly less.
Refresher Orb. Sentries for everyone. Gems for everyone. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Salves for everybody. Buy base bottles. Buy another courier. I don't know.
Divine Rapiers. In case of emergency, buy Divine Rapiers. I don't think I've actually ever seen that. I might have seen it once, but I've never casted a game with that. It's like, oh, our base is getting sieged, and I'm the only one alive. Let me just drop this Radiance and Manta style and grab 2 Rapiers. Let's do this.
They'll never expect it.
I mean, it's probably actually a bad idea to do that, because just a Blink Crush and he just dies immediately afterwards, regardless of what his other items are. So
at that point, he has the backup BKB too. So,
oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, unfortunately, you can't like stack up and save BKBs. You used to be able to, not anymore.
Well, I mean, Pycat probably won't be getting Magic Community this game, so 10-second BKB out of nowhere, Golden Boy.
Just leave it in the base, just in emergencies. It's like, oh no, my base is getting sieged. I better grab my BKB, pop that one. Or first of all, you know, grab my level 3 Necro Book, send those guys into the fray. I don't know what else you can do to have like a one-shot thing, but you know, everything in the world for the Alchemist.
Yeah, if this game does go on to like hour plus, like 90 minutes into the game, his wall is just gonna be lined up with all of these items in case of emergency, break glass, and you know what? That could be fun to watch, but right now, I just want this game to resume. Seems like we have some pretty major issues. Yeah.
15 minutes of pause time per team, strictly enforced, guys. So 4 Clovers are running short, and without their Mirana, like I want to say they actually don't have any chance of winning. Like it could be worse, I guess, if they lost Pycat, because then you get all this gold that you just can't spend. But Mirana is 2,500. That is also a very huge blow if Maximo doesn't come back.
Yeah, it really is. The hero that, if you could choose who gets disconnected, although you don't want to, it's the Ancient Apparition, because his only contribution inside these fights is Ice Blast, and for that you keep him AFK and well anyway.
He's pretty much just doing that. Yeah, that's his play style. He could go off and do something else. He's already done his job in this game.
He could actually read a book.
Play the Mirana.
Yeah, he really could.
Yeah, just occasionally throw an Ice Blast. I guess Mirana also has some limited utility by being AFK because of this quote-unquote global strat. You have to just have a panic button in the Moonlight Shadow. In case of emergency, you know, you cast Invis. Again, not that great versus Slardar, but maybe it'll save someone. But yeah, I think it's time for EGM to stop playing Ancient Apparition and start playing Mirana, because they're running out of pause time.
Fair enough. I think the grand plan here for 4 Clovers is for the Mirana to abandon, sell all of her items, give all of the gold to the Alchemist, and Pycat just 1v5s. Easy.
Is that even good?
No, it's really not.
No, I mean, it's like, is it even the best thing that they could do with selling all of Mirana's items? Wouldn't it be better to give it to the Nature's Prophet and kind of like accelerate him to a little bit of a more relevant pusher, like backdoor even? Right.
When you sell the items, it distributes between everybody who's still inside the game.
Can't you give it to Bambo to sell?
No.
I never touch abandoned people's stuff.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Respect.
Plus, I never. Yeah. I don't know. I just don't know the rules of abandoning anymore. Or really ever. I've never actually paid attention to that at all. I just know that you can't buy back on a hero that's gone. Can't buy stuff for them. You can just control their heroes. I'm pretty sure you could give it to someone and sell their items.
No, because it's still owned by them. They're the only one who can sell it, and it goes into their bank. And then
once they like fully leave, maybe you can't do that in like these lobby games because they like can't fully abandon. I have no idea.
Well,
it's stuck on 1 for unpausing. That's so weird. We're unpausing in 1 second, guys. This Ming Li emote really has made quite a splash.
Really has. I'm not sure when the appropriate time to use it is, though.
I'm not sure either. It seems kind of like Forehead, Eligiggle. Like, those are interchangeable.
For the most part, yeah.
I mean, you obviously don't want to interchange them. You want to have all of them at the same time. So, like, you just pile them on if you're laughing at someone. But, hey, it looks like we're actually going to play this game. Go figure. And it looks like 4 Clovers actually do have a Mirana. I think it's time for her to buy something just in case she disconnects again. You never know. But, ooh, Alchemist actually bought something. That's his completed Assault Cuirass. So, another aura item up. Those illusions do hold the aura. So, you know, a little bit more of a momentum push. Whenever those illusions are going to be pushing a wave, they give the aura to the creeps. I don't know how relevant that's actually going to be, but it is there. But
yeah,
for the most part, this Alchemist just wants the armor. Now it's up to 60 damage reduction. Not bad.
Yeah, I mean, of course, if the Slardar does have the amp stuck on the Alchemist, it's going to take 15 away from that, which is all of his plus armor. But Mantis Style should be up more often than not. It's such a low cooldown when you have the Octarine Core, 22 seconds. He's going to be able to do that quite often inside these fights. Nature's Prophet going to drop his ultimate as it charges bottom.
Nikwa, Nether Strike is going to fall short. Nature's Prophet is going to come in, has already thrown out his ultimate. Sprout is going to land. Kaiser is going to get bailed out by the Slaughter for a little while longer. They're going to beat down Bambo, and Razor will die in the end. But it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. Everyone else from the 4 Clovers side, they're going to back off. But up towards top lane, Axmo is pushing, and he's pushing hard. Someone's got to deal with this. Lich is not the correct hero to deal with this. I mean, Ice Armor is going to help for sure mitigate the damage on this tower, and it looks like with the Fortify, they will end up getting out of there, but Slardar charged again. He's going to have to time this crush perfectly, but it's not going to be in time. Teleportation also coming through. Who is it? It's the High Cat Alchemist. No, it was the Mirana. She leaped out. Yeah, now that she's going to land up an arrow, it's going to connect. No, it's not. He narrowly jukes it, but the Alchemist is right on his tail. The Radiance is going to kill him off in the end. So difficult to toggle that armlet versus Earn Charge and Radiance, so he will end up dropping. But yeah, the travels on Alchemist and Mirana can make ganks happen out of nowhere. Again, this is the global strategy, and they get those 2 kills for Clovers. Yes, do lose the Nature's Prophet, but he can jump right back towards the top lane or bottom if necessary. Of course, also has that Wrath of Nature. Those are the type of pickoffs that 4 Clovers need if they're actually going to look towards winning this game. This time it's going to give them a Roshan. It doesn't seem like Golden Boys are going to be able to contest. Maybe they're going to be able to jump in. If they go right now, they will throw a Spirit in. Aegis will be picked up by Axmo. Madra's a little bit too late.
Yeah, nicely done by them. Quick transition off of those 2 pickoffs. Mirana leaps away from the creep wave, which puts some quite significant damage on this tier 2 tower in bottom lane. And Golden Boys can't react as quickly across the map as 4 Clovers with the mass boosted travel, with the naturally high mobility of Nature's Prophet with this global TP. And now that Octarine's almost up for Nature's Prophet, when you have Octarine and global teleport, you can be anywhere. It's so quick. 4 Clovers are able to react. However, they are still kind of keeping away, or playing keep away with Golden Boys. They don't want to take these 5-on-5 fights, but for now, Golden Boys are the ones in the back foot as they have to react to 4 Clovers' mass amount of split push. So 4 Clovers are starting to get momentum back in their favor. After that Roshan, this game, if nothing else, is very close to even.
Unfortunately for Nature's Prophet, he's actually pretty far away from level 16. I thought by now he would have that level, but it just doesn't seem like it's going to be the case. Still, reduced cooldown is reduced cooldown for Wrath of Nature, especially 45 seconds at level 3 is legit. You just keep on firing those off. You make treants absolutely everywhere. You make just like a couple over towards top, and by a couple I mean a whole lot. Okay, the creep wave will die in the end because the Radiance Burn is still there. Madara is here to clean it up, and he will do so very, very quickly, but this is the type of momentum that is going to shove all the ways from 4 Clovers, open up the map just a little bit so that Nikwa can start those charges in so that they can look for these pickoffs. And it might be happening up towards top. EGM is going to one-man smoke. Luckily for him, narrowly dodges Slardar and is actually going to run potentially to the Razor, who's going to Plasma Field. I don't think he saw Nikwa off of that. It doesn't seem like it, and everyone will back off. That was very, very close, however.
Yeah, both the Ancient Apparition and Spirit Breaker are very deep by enemy lines. They're going to use the Mirana ultimate. They're going to TP away the Spirit Breaker and now look for a jump on Ember.
He's gonna dodge it, however. Great sleight of fist from Madra. He's gonna get all the way back up to the up to his base. That would have been probably his death. You just land the concoction, land the arrow, and then Alchemist just goes to town. But you have to get a little bit closer to land that concoction if you're actually gonna get a kill on the Ember Spear. I'm pretty sure that just wasn't a farming one. Oh, an Ancient Apparition is gonna get picked off in the end. Throws an Ice Blast as his final act, even with the Wrath of Nature not doing a ton. So Ancient Apparition down, not really a huge deal. Golden Boys really need to kill off the Alchemist and or the Nature's Prophet if they're gonna open the door for a push.
Interesting choice coming up from the Razor. His item is actually going to be a pipe.
I mean, 4 Clovers, I guess the pipe should probably get full value. Starstorm, Wrath of Nature, at least for pushing high ground.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really seem like Golden Boys are in any position to actually push high ground. Like, the waves are just not working out for them because of the Nature's Prophet and Alchemist.
I really would have liked to see a Shiva's instead for this Razor. Makes going into that refresher a little bit easier and offers a tad bit more wave clear. Synergize is nice with Plasma Field, and in general is a good item to have on Razor. The itemization coming out from him is, as you said, very focused on high ground.
He has 1 Spirit. He's going to get out of there, no problem. Yeah, really any other item than Pipe. Pipe is just like a kind of mediocre item in my eyes. Like, even if the enemy has a Sand King or, you know, those types of heroes where Pipe, the barrier, is going to get full value. Like, it's so expensive, and I guess like the magic resistance is kind of nice on the Razor, but you would really rather have armor, because that's what Alchemist does. That's probably what Mirana's gonna end up doing as well. Right now she doesn't really have that much damage at all, actually, going for almost a purely defensive build, but Pipe is probably not gonna make the difference here. Maybe it would be better if Ancient Apparition had his ultimates, Aghanim down towards bottom lane. Nikwa running away from the Ember Spirit. He'll get bailed out by the Sprout, forcing Madara to jump away. They're actually going to go for a real push on the bottom lane, it seems. It's so hard up against the Battle Fury Ember Spirit, though. I don't think it's ever going to happen. This game seems like it's at a standstill with the creeps pretty much staying on the Golden Boys side of the map, and it's only a matter of time before someone gets picked off, and that someone might be Madra. So here comes Axmo from right behind Arrow. Oh, he doesn't have quite a good angle. He's going to miss it completely. Madra's going to sprint away, and I think even with the Arrow at that point-blank range, they don't have enough damage to get that kill.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't have worked out. The Ember Spirit is starting to run low on Remnant since he has so consistently been forced to use those to keep himself alive. Ice Blast is going to miss, and he's going to get back up to regen inside his well. It does feel like this is a stalemate. Maybe the Shadow Blade and the Slaughter is one of the ways that they can end this stalemate. However, it's another one of those items that I feel might be a little bit risky coming out from Golden Boys. It's exclusively tailored to find the initiations for the Slaughter, and if this doesn't work out for them, then Clovers will be very happy.
He got red, but again, not enough damage after the stun. They're now going to just leave, and Kaiser has no way to interrupt it, but Slaughter does. Blink Crush, Bamboo is going to crumble. Nico's right around the corner, but doesn't want to touch that with a 20-foot pole. And they will just lose the Nature's Prophet. That is an opening for Golden Boys if they can actually shove these waves enough. But still, the top lane is pushing with Treants, so that's not really going to happen. Nature's Prophet can buy back if needed, and Golden Boys aren't really just pushing down a lane immediately afterwards. Axmo, who is going to throw an arrow. Pycat's going to grab a Bounty Rune, cash in there, but Slaughter Shadow Bladed up, hit with the Frost Blast effect. And that's Aghanim at this point. Alchemist gave it to the Ancient Apparition. They still see Axmo. Actually, no, they don't. I don't think they quite got close enough. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like there's going to be a kill here for Golden Boys, even though they could have gotten, I think, either of those two heroes.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate for them. Now that pick off on Nature's Prophet's impact in this game is going to be very little, as he's going to be back up about 10 seconds, give or take, and had some trees pushing out top lane all in the meantime, so Golden Boys have to deal with this split push. You finally have the Basher up on the Alchemist. This game is getting much closer to the point where it might just all explode.
And it's, you really don't want to have that game get that state ever. EGM always going to get caught. He is moonlit up, though. Slaughter's going to straight TP out. Is there anything to cancel it? No. They're going to charge, however, towards the Razor. TP is coming in. Can they sprout him? They will. Concoction is there, plus the Ice Blast. Aghanim. Kaiser probably going to shatter from this one, especially with the charge coming in. Madra, he's going to Sleight of Fist, dodge the Nether Strike for right now. Nether Strike getting it canceled again as he does jump out twice. He has no more spirits, however, so if he gets stunned, he's just dead, and there it is. 1 stun, 2 stun, dead Ember. He has no buyback either. He is actually nowhere close to buyback. This is actually a chance for Clovers to go up high ground. They also pick off the Courier, a really wealthy Courier at that. That was the ultimate orb, and Scotty completed almost on the Ember Spirit, but he's dead anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much. Either way, they're in for a push right now. Probably tier 2 mid lane at the very least, but this might even be an opening for high ground for Clovers.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to backdoor that tier 2 tower in the mid lane. They are going to have to attend to the creeps that were a little bit closer towards the river, but that is so important for them. As for Clovers now have finally broken the silence. The Ancient Apparition you mentioned in that last fight has the Aghanim Scepter delivered by the Alchemist. He purchased that after the AC inside his item build, and it's going to actually make this AA an impactful hero. They're getting momentum. The last tier 2 is going to fall, or at least the one in the mid lane. I keep on forgetting he's off lane tier 2 since they are a lot less important, but what matters now, yeah.
Charge, Nether Strike, the Ice Effect is just going to wear off. The Urn will not kill him off, especially with the mech. As broken as Ancient Apparition's ultimate is, it's not that good. The arrow's going to fly, will connect onto the Lich, taking the bullet for the Slaughter, but it's over towards mid lane where this is the real big problem, because the tower's already fallen. Where is this Ancient Apparition? He's going to fire off another blast from the bottom lane. It looks like it's going to completely whiff. Everyone's going to Moonlight out of there. No amplified damage, no True Sight at all, actually. Axmo, he has an arrow. It doesn't look like they really want to commit. Slaughter's going to come right back in, but he's going into 4 heroes. Charge is there. Sprout now. He's caught in a cage. Pycat throwing a Kakashi onto the Kaiser. Looks like they just want to leave. And it looks like they probably should be able to. However, this time they're out of Moonlight Shadow. And it looks like, similarly, it doesn't matter. That could have been really bad for Clovers, or really good, but no, they're going to lose Bamboo. Blink Crush. There's no way that Nature's Prophet is going to get out of this one. Has Sprout, has TP, but it's not fast enough. He's going to fall up on top, but with bottom lane pushing, Golden Boys can't really push out significantly, even after having gotten that kill.
Oh, Ice Blast top, that's a dead Slaughter. There's no way he survives here, although there is a pipe. I suppose he's going to take the long walk all the way back towards base, or maybe not. Stay where you are, it doesn't matter. Slaughter is down. With these tier 3 towers falling, this is very bad. Yeah.
He's going to get caught with the chains. Banshee style trying to teleport out of there. Chain Frost is going to cancel that one, taking a hell of a lot of damage. Chain Frost bounces. Oh, it is going to kill him off in the end. Arrow comes through. He's not going to catch anyone. Nico is going to cancel his charge. Shadow Blade out of there. Alchemist down, but up towards top lane, Bambo is back. And, well, Ember Spirit will kill off almost all of the treants. Wow, only one survives. But still, they take the range racks. They are getting very important kills, Golden Boys. Like, killing off Nature's Prophet, killing off Alchemist. It's what they have to be doing. But they have to kind of kill them both at the same time at this point.
Yeah, or else it's just not enough to allow them to push outside of their base. Golden Boys are getting strangled, it seems, when it comes to map control. They're still getting good item progression on this Ember Spirit in particular, since he has farmed so many of these trees that are being thrown at him by Bambo. But it doesn't feel like Golden Boys are going to be in a situation where they can actually push high ground, at least not for a long time. Blink Tag will be the next purchase up by the Ember Spirit, and I like it quite a lot. It's going to allow him to avoid most of the initiation coming up from 4 Clovers, but maybe this Hex from the Mirana is going to make him regret things. Another courier pickup. Dire's courier is just getting demolished by 4 Clovers.
Yeah, that was the completed Eye of Scotty.
It's been on there forever.
Was it like a treants there or something? Did I just...
Tree plus Spirit Breaker.
Ah, okay. Well, either way, Madra's never gonna get the Scotty, it seems. Maybe he has a chance in 2 minutes 30 seconds, but that's assuming Nature's Prophet is sleeping at that time. Pycat is gonna teleport over towards mid. He is an Abyssal Blade away from completing his, I guess, official 6-slotted status. I guess, you know, he just still have Moon Shards to buy eventually. He still has, I guess, Spirit Breaker to give the items to. Axmo is gonna run to Shitstain right now. He's gonna get crushed. No amplified damage there. He has enough time to get the Sheepstick off, although he's just gonna get permabash, it seems. Drummond's gonna sprint out of there, although caught with the chains. Axmo finally gonna get the Sheepstick. It's too late though. However, in the meantime, they might lose the Razor. Pycat slowed down because of the unstable current, although here comes the charge and the Ice Blast. This is gonna be a super dead Razor. Chain Frost is gonna do some damage, but the Spirit Breaker also killed the Lich somehow. Was that Blade Mail? I think it was.
Blade Mail on the ulti. Poor Lich.
Life sucks and then you die, man. There's nothing you can do about that. Mirana for 2. And again, for Golden Boys, these are nice picks, but these are not the amount of picks that they need. And over towards mid and top, really. The range Raxes have been constantly sieged by little trees. And the range Raxes don't regen at all. So every single point of damage is permanent.
And now they're going to have an Aegis. 4 Clovers again are going to have a tool to look for some high ground siege damage. Look, who do you give the Aegis to at this point? Probably Bambo, I'd expect, or the Mirana, but she's dead. She's not going to be able to pick this up. And then Cheese towards somebody. I don't know. Cheese is going to be on the floor. Nikwa, he's thinking about picking up the Aegis, but he actually is. This is an interesting choice from them. I think Nature's Prophet might be able to use that second life a little bit better. But with the Aegis, Nikwa can go in as deep as he wants, really, and he is their gem carrier.
Nikwa's got the Aegis and the Cheese. You can't kill out the Spirit Breaker anymore, although I'm not really sure for Golden Boys if they really even want to try. Yeah, it is going to be a little bit more gold towards their pockets, and Nikwa, I'm sure, is going to eventually give this Cheese to someone else. I'm not really sure if I like this Aegis on the Spirit Breaker. We'll see if it actually is relevant at all. I don't expect it to be. Another Aghanims for Spirit Breaker, I think. It's been a long time since I've seen Aghanims Spirit Breaker. The most relevant thing, if I remember correct, is the fact that it just drops the cooldown down to 20, so you can get a couple of them off, but will you actually live long enough the fights to get multiple Nether Strikes? You need, like, what, 3 probably to make it really value?
With Aegis and Cheese, though, I'm sure Nico's going to be able to stick around in here.
So it was, dude.
Yeah, the master plan. Also, if Golden Boys get clumped up, it does add an AoE effect to the Nether Strike, so if they're not careful, it could end up being terrible for them. Although it's such a small AoE that it's not something that's usually relevant unless you have, I don't know, Magnus or Darkseer, but I've never seen that combo ever, I want to say. That's just theory crafting. But regardless, I think it's probably the only item they could have gone for.
He's gonna see the Lich, he's gonna see the Undying, can't go for either of them. He's gonna pop the Sheepstick with the help of Axmo, get the arrow to land, and Undying's to fall. He still has his Nether Strike. He does not see the Lich, however. So it's just gonna be a kill, and it looks like everyone else is gonna survive. Moonlight Shadow's been doing some serious work in this game, and for this Mirana to go for like a pure casting utility build, you would expect it to have to do work if she's actually gonna be remaining relevant, but yeah, Undying down isn't really the biggest deal in the world for 4 Clovers, but it is just one fewer hero to worry about, which means the waves are going to be shoved that much harder. Everyone actually is done with Aghanims. That's unfortunate, but up towards top lane, charged. Ember Spirit's going to jump very far away, and he should be fine, although Nikwa's still going. He's going to bump into Slaughter. He sees him. He's going to stop it. Nether Strike, it's available, and they have a TP coming in. He's going to get crushed immediately. However, here comes Bambo with the Sheep Stick onto the Slaughter, who's now trapped with the Cold Feet there as well. He'll get annihilated by the Ancient Apparition, instantly buys out. Bambo dropping low, perhaps. Chain Frost is there. Nico's going to return a hell of a lot with the Blade Man. Now goes Invis. Still has the Aegis in case. Just saying, going to blink right into a Sheep again. Will fall. He just bought back. Nico finally going to drop. By the time he responds, he should have another Nether Strike. They're onto Pycat now. He's shaking up a potion. He's going to throw it towards Madra. It's time to fight for Pycat. He's going to go straight towards the Ember Spirit. Gets a first hit bash. And Nico's going to get a bash as well. And Madra, he's going to Sleight of Fist out, but he will not escape. Pycat's still regenerating just a little bit more. They get another Nether Strike in. Tombstone may drop. Nico is now going to pop the cheese. He's going to survive. Pycat grabs a triple kill. Gets a first hit bash, and maybe next time we'll get the kill as well. Ultra for Pycat. In the meantime, bottom lane, Bambo is pushing the entire time. Aegis and cheese on Spirit Breaker, dude. All part of the plan.
That was ridiculous. I mean, I didn't think that Aegis and Cheese would be nearly as much as it did, but they tried so hard to kill him. And I think that's partially a mistake coming out from Golden Boys, but also just the vast amount of bashes in that last team fight between Spirit Breaker, between the Alchemist Basher. I thought that maybe they'd be regretting giving that Aghanim Scepter to the Spirit Breaker because of a potential Moonshard or a potential Abyssal Blade on the Alchemist, but you know what? If Spirit Breaker didn't have the extra stats from the Ags, or if he didn't have the extra cast range, I'm not sure how that last fight ends up panning out for them. For Clovers, it felt very stagnant for a long time, and maybe they were sitting on Alchemist too long, but by the end, everything comes together, and Golden Boys just aren't able to close out the game. A couple of item choices here or there that leave a little bit to be desired when it comes to their outcome inside that game, and Golden Boys are going to lose 2-0.
As good as Abyssal Blade is on the Alchemist, you don't need that if you're always going to land first hit bashes, which you did twice, and then you got a hell of a lot more also. So, you may think, guys, that the Aghanim Scepter Spirit Breaker clearly is what won them the game, but it was just a bad fight, which Golden Boys were, again, struggling to find that full 5-on-5 fight, but by the time they did, walked into way too many point-click disables. Like, the Slaughter just got sheeped up immediately both times. He couldn't actually get anything off. Everyone else was getting bashed, and really, for Golden Boys, they weren't actually able to attack that many times in that fight because of the amount of disables from 4 Clovers. That's going to mean that 4 Clovers do grab 3 points off of this match, and we are right now done. There's going to be another game in about an hour and 30 minutes. For that one, we're going to be going over to the Americas region, where, off the top of my head, Pain?
Archon versus Teed.
I was nowhere close. So apparently I cannot trust the top of my head. But again, guys, in an hour and 30 minutes, it is going to be... it is going to be an American game, Archon versus Keed. The stream will go down between now and then, so I hope you guys return for that game. I'm Mikelorus. I've been joined by GrandisV. If you enjoyed the games today, then be sure to return tomorrow. Be sure to return later. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, @Mikelorus, @GrandisV. It's all in the upper right corner of your screen, and it's all in the title. We'll see you guys later. GG.